Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ntombi and the star of the show is Sakile. He's in the kitchen. If you're new here, hello, hi, and if you're a continuous subby, thank you for loving us. We love you too. So let's fast forward to 2006 when I matriculated, and then 2007 I couldn't go to college, so I was forced to take a gap year because my sister was still in college, so my parents couldn't afford to take us both to college. And so I had to take a gap year, and this is why I'm not a fan of gap years because I fell pregnant, and in September, 7 months later, Sakile decided that he wants to come to the world. He had the fear of FOMO. So that Monday my water broke for a good 5 days. I was in hospital, Mediclinic. I was in Mediclinic for like 5 days. My water just broke and there was water coming out. I don't want to, So Saturday I started getting contractions, and then I was transferred to Highfield Mediclinic. And then a few hours later, Sakile was born. He was taken straight to the prenatal ward, and he stayed there for a good 2 weeks, and then he had an infection, and so he was flown to Kloof Mediclinic. When he got to Kloof Mediclinic, they performed an operation on him, and I went to visit him. He was so tiny and had all these tubes on him. I had photos, but someone stole my phone. Like, they stole my phone, so I lost all the photos. He was so tiny and had all this. That was a tough time. Like, I was too young to experience something like that. But anyways, so he stayed at Kloof Mediclinic for 2 weeks until medical aid couldn't pay for him, and so he was transferred to Steve Biko, which was nice because I was able to go and stay with him, because Steve Biko, they allowed the mummies to stay. So I took care of him, I checked on him, and his wound was open on his tummy, so they had to do a open dressing. I don't remember the term, but his wound was open, so the sister would come and dress it with a powder, guys. And then we stayed there for like October, and then in the middle of November we were discharged. I was so happy because I was so lonely there. I don't have like relatives. My uncle's wife would come and check on us, but she lived in what is Gandalf, or I don't remember the name, but she would come and check on us, but I just felt so alone. Anyways, we came back home, and I raised him. He was so tiny and ugly, I couldn't believe that was my baby. And then the following year, when we went to the clinic, I think it was 9 months, when we went to the clinic, they had a sister told us, like, there's something wrong with my son, he's not developing the way he's supposed to. And we didn't notice it because we thought he was behind because he was 7 months premature, and because of his operation. So we didn't take his development, like his developing stages, seriously, because we thought, okay, he's going to be slow, or maybe he will catch up once he grows up, So we were referred to the hospital, and then we went to the hospital and we opened our files and everything, and it was such a long experience because I wasn't used to public hospitals like that, and opening the files, going, it was a lot, but I persevered. Yes. And then the doctor told us that his pediatrician, a very nice Cuban doctor, he's so nice and he takes his work seriously. Velenje, he's the head pediatrician, he told us that Sakile had cerebral palsy. I didn't understand what that was. I cried the entire time. I had the palsy and I was like, okay, something's wrong. I cried so hard. Luckily, my mom was with me, so it was a tough time. So, what is cerebral palsy? Cerebral palsy. CP is a group of neurological disorders that appear in an infancy or early childhood and permanently affect body movement and muscle coordination. CP is caused by damage to or abnormalities inside the developing brain that disrupt the brain's ability to control movement and maintain posture and balance. The damage is not reversible and the disability that results are permanent. So that's when things started getting interesting. We had to go to the hospital like 4 times in a month. We had to go to the pediatrician the first week, and the second week we'd go to physiotherapy, and the third week we'll maybe go to a dietitian, or maybe go, and then the other week would go to speech therapy. So we were up and down the hospital. It was it was yeah. And we had to like hire, we had an Uber way before people had Ubers. That was 2008. Sorry about that. So we had an Uber way before Ubers were introduced. So I would have to like pay 40 rands for the delivery and then bringing us back. And it was the toughest times because I would see other mummies. They would come with their children. Abanye, they have like, they were like, their conditions, the other kids' conditions were worse, and some they were okay, which is why they say that we shouldn't reduce them to their conditions, because cerebral palsy differs in three ways. But I think there's a lot of ways, because there's where is this one? There's this one, parts of the bodies that are affected. As you can see, this child is affected this side, and then some it's the legs, and some it's the legs and the arms and the neck. So yeah. And then came time for me to go to college. So in June 2008, I went to college to study human resource management. And because my mom was working that time, I had to go with my son to college, but I lived with my grandmother. So my uncle's wife would take care of Sakila when I'm at college. And then after college, like after school, I always went home to take care of my son. And then 2009 January, I didn't go back with my son because mom had stopped working, and then she took care of my son. She carried on like going like all the appointments with my sister, which I'm so grateful for them, because when your child has this type of condition, you really need all the support that you can get. Like, it's not easy to just go on it alone. You just need support. So I'm so grateful that I had my sister and my mom, because I don't know what I would have done, And then I finished school 2010. I finished school in June. Yeah, I came back June 2010 before the World Cup. And I was doing nothing. I was taking my son to his appointments and hoping for the best. And that's when things just started spiraling out of control, because some mummies will come back with their child and the child is walking, is okay now, the child is doing better, and then they will tell us, oh, we went into this sangoma. And when you're desperate, you will do anything for your child. So we were desperate for Sakile to like be better so that he can go to school, before he turned 7, so we were just pushing. We tried everything and anything under the sun. Like we went to sangomas, traditional healers, and I also have the scars, like the scars of the events, and we would go to, that time the labafundis lava, these pastors who would do miracles were so famous. We went to them, not knowing Gucci, all of it was just a scam. But you do anything for your child, and yeah, Sakila keeps growing. It was hard for me. Like, it was so hard. I got depressed, was put on pills. I took antidepressants. And then 2011, December, I got a job at Edgar's. It was fun. It was nice, but I would get depressed, seeing my classmates and people, like Ziafa. I don't want to be rude, but people, this one is there, working there because of a relative, they got that job because they know someone, and you just wonder why and also because I wanted to get medical aid for my son, and I wanted to take him to, there's a school in Joburg, so that he can learn and like be independent. But then that didn't happen, and I used to go to so many interviews. 2011 to 2014, I would go to so many interviews. I think that also depressed me, because I would wait for a call back and be like, okay, this is it, okay, this time I'm going to get this job. And then you start dreaming, which when I get this job, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, your life is just going to change. It didn't change. So after going to the sangomas and everything, nothing happened. And then Sakila started getting sick. He started getting anemia and needed transfusion, like blood transfusion. And every time I was off, he would get sick. That's why I didn't like being off, because I just felt like, okay, we're going to spend another day in hospital, like another 3 days in hospital, get discharged, and then go home and rest for 1 day and then go to work. So it was a lot. It was overwhelming, but with time you get used to it. You stop crying, you stop feeling sad, and just you stop thinking where my child would be, like seeing my relatives' kids doing better at school, and like some of them are younger than him and now they're going to school, and my child is just, it's hard, because for some mummies, there's this other mother who her child was in daycare. He was 4 years old. He came home sick, and then she took him to the hospital, and he woke up. He wasn't okay. He had cerebral palsy, which was weird, like imagine your child, we are hamba, he can walk and talk, he's playing with other kids, and then the next thing he has cerebral palsy. Like, what's up with that? And that even depressed me. Like, stories like that, they depressed they depressed me. And so, and there's this other mother we met this year. Her daughter was 32 years old. Well, is 32 years old because she's still alive. She fell at work. She was working at this big company, earning money. She had her own car, her own home, medical aid, and she just fell at work, and they couldn't perform CPR on her. And so when the paramedics got there, she had already had brain damage. So now she can't walk, she can't do anything. It's just and it just makes you think and wonder, we see what's happening in this world. And so after I left work, the interviews were not interviewing, so I started like learning how to do nails, you know, and I had my own hustle, but that had to stop because it was getting dangerous because I didn't have my own place and I didn't want to go and rent a space at a salon, you know. So I was trying to like make money so that I can buy my own container and then have my own salon. That was the plan. It's still a plan, you know. So the interview stopped and everything has been silent since 2015. I went to my last interview 2015. So for 10 years I haven't been in an interview. Dang. I haven't been in an interview in 10 years. And then I decided to start a YouTube channel 2019. And here we are. So regarding dating, I have dated very nice men who loved me and loved my son, but I was sabotage because when things got too serious, I'd be like, hey, what if they want me to, like, what if they ask me to get married and then they want to have kids? What if we have like another child that's like Sakile? I couldn't do that to anyone. Like I know how it's like, so I wouldn't wish that for anyone, you know. So I was always like pants. I would just like start a fight and then be like, you know what, it's over, leave me alone, because I was scared. There's a white woman who had 3 kids who had cerebral palsy, and so she ended up all the 3 kids and she went to jail. So I was like, okay, because other mummies were encouraging me to, like, you know what, you should have another child. The child would take care of Sakira. What if something happens to you? And I always feel like, what if I get like pregnant and the other child also has cerebral palsy? Because what if the problem is with me, you know, and stuff. And I was like, I'm not doing that. So yeah, the dating, it was good. Like, it was good. It was nice because I would do long distance dating. My mom would take care of my son like on weekends, and then entire month I'm just chilling with my son. Then I'll go every month end. So yeah, yeah, so that's our story, and we still have plans to grow. I still have plans to get myself on my feet and to just, yeah, do the best for my son. Anyways, I hope you guys know our story and know our lives now. So we won't have a vlog this week because Akira was sick and I got sick too. So this video is going to be up, I think, right now. Yeah, I'm gonna post it today, right now. And then we will see you guys next week. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. And please pray for yourself and fast. And know that God is the only God in this world. Nothing else matters but God. Thank you for watching. Bye.